Neal, I don't know if you've seen the results. Have you seen them now?
Yeah. I've got an initial idea of what's going down.
Yeah. So in Colorado, I assume that it's mainly mail-in ballots and they mainly counted them because it's 82% reporting right out of the gate. So
definitely.
Yeah. So it looks like she's won, Neal.
Definitely.
Yeah. So this is obviously a tough time, but tell us your sense of the race and what happened.
For context, I'm a first-time candidate, right? And we ran on a fully grassroots, people-funded campaign. And for us, we understood that independent of what the result would ever be, we were here for the work. We were here to champion a vision that put community above all else. We wanted to fight for socioeconomic policies that really transformed some of the most vulnerable parts of our district and champion policies like the Green New Deal. Healthcare is a human right and housing for all. And I think what we understood was that it was always going to be tough in this case that, we've raised $200,000. We're going up against someone who's raised almost $1 million, someone who is a long-term incumbent, and someone who has been supported by the Democratic establishment for the vast majority of their career. And so I think anyone running for office in this type of situation should always come in with a level head and recognizing that, on your first time, you may not be able to get it. And that's okay. I'm proud of what we've done. I'm proud of our team. And I think we've punched above our weight this entire time. And, we know we've actually touched a lot of different people who have never participated in a congressional election before. And we've activated folks from different part of our district that I know felt like they were a part of something meaningful, part of something that could be a big deal. And so, for me, even if the result doesn't go our way this time around, I feel proud and my head is held high.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more people that run, get out the progressive message, the more progressive people hear it for the very first time. Because, I know I harp on it too much, but it's because it's of the weight of it. Mainstream media almost never covers progressive candidates, and that makes it a super tough hill to climb. But I want to talk specifically about your race. So, Neal, in your case, what do you think was most determinative? Was it her name recognition from the incumbency, the 4-to-1 minimum advantage that she had, let alone PACs, et cetera, in fundraising, or media coverage?
I think the most notable thing for Congresswoman to get is her name recognition, right? And we should be very clear that she does have positive aspects of her leadership, right? She is one of the reasons why we as a nation are able to have a conversation around treating abortion as healthcare. I think she's done a great job of talking about gun reform and a number of other issues. And so I think that for us, what we knew is the number game was always going to be the hardest, because when you're running the type of platform and campaign that we're running, people power, knocking on doors, being present, those were the things that we wanted to do the most. But it's very hard to compete against someone who can, finance a robocall 5 times a week to literally every voter in our district, someone who can put money into TV ads, and someone who can, to your point, I think benefit from a lot more press coverage than someone like myself who, as you alluded to, I don't think exactly got as much coverage as I think I would have liked. But that's also something I think we kind of calculated going into this. And, we've paid attention to a lot of different people who have run a lot of different races. And this was always going to be our struggle. And so, there are a lot of different things I think that kind of contributed to her victory. And we've learned quite a bit on this campaign trail. And I'll simply say that no matter what happens, we're still going to be present. We're still going to do the work. And the day will come where I think we will see ourselves in elected office, even if it's not today.
Yeah, and so you're doing, Diane, to get us solid there, and she's going to run against a Republican, and she needs it, and pointing out the positives of her record, and that's noble of you and the right thing to do, and also true. These incumbents, they have downsides and they have upsides. For a lot of them, unfortunately, it's mainly downsides. But in DeGette's case, there are a couple of upsides, and it is an important point to point out. But one more thing for me, Neal. There's a mythology that politics is a battle of ideas. Did you get a sense in running your race that you guys were having a battle of ideas?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it was mostly a battle of vision, right? And I mean, we did have notable differences in terms of what we thought the right vision for our communities would be. We have a distinct difference of opinion on what the Green New Deal represents for our communities. My opponent is someone who recently signed onto Medicare for all, even though in previous points in her career, she had advocated against single payer health. She's taken an exorbitant amount of money from big pharmaceuticals, as well as privatized healthcare companies. And we were different in terms of that spirit as well. And I think another thing that we excelled on was a proactive vision to end homelessness in the United States of America. That was one of the cornerstone issues that we wanted to champion in our race. And what we know is that when we did get in front of folks, people really did resonate with our message. That has been clear time and again. But I think in our perspective now, what we know is the next time we go in, obviously we'll have to raise a lot more money. We'll have to be a lot more diligent in terms of orchestrating the type of dynamic field game that I think we need to put together to win in a type of race like this. And I will say that I think a lot of folks who were keeping us at arm's length, people who did benefit, I think, from the fundraising apparatus that Congresswoman DeGette brings to the table, the establishment connections. And obviously there are consequences for folks to support a first-time candidate like me publicly, right? We have gotten a lot of quiet support from a number of different people, but that needs to translate into something public next time. And I'll say that I think we've built a lot of trust, not only in community spaces, but in the political space here. And so I know that we can build upon what we've put together this first time around. And like I said, we're not planning on going anywhere. So.
All right, that sounds great. Francesca, you had a question.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, condolences, but also you immediately are like, well, it's my first time, as if you're ready for another fight in a couple of years, which I think is that kind of spirit that people respond to when it comes to progressive fighters. What was DeGette's willingness to debate you? Like, what did that look like in terms of having an open conversation about the issues? And then what was the Colorado Democratic Party's attitude to you? How were you supported or not?
Yeah, I'll say that I never felt like the Colorado Democratic Party necessarily gave me any sort of negative treatment or special treatment to my opponent. I think when it did come to the debate, and I'm not sure if you all watched it, it was something that we had to push for aggressively. And it's something that I quite frankly think we're all entitled to. It doesn't matter how small you think your opponent is. It doesn't matter what you think your viability is like. Like, this is something our communities and our voters are owed. And we had to work hard to make the first debate happen. Thankfully, the Denver Democrats hosted it in conjunction with a local union. And I thought it went really well for us, if I'm being honest, right? We displayed a clear difference in vision, energy, I think a progressive ideology that we've seen a lot of folks resonate with time and again. But I don't think that debate necessarily was circulated in a way that I think would have given us a bigger advantage had people known we did a good job on that. And I'll say this, that debate produced another forum that was hosted by a really large faith-based organization called the Ministerial Alliance here in Denver. It consists of a number of Black pastors and ministers who are the heads of their congregations. And they hosted us for a forum, including Congresswoman DeGette. She didn't show up. And I think that was likely due to the fact that, she was on the debate stage with me. And I think she might've felt like, okay, if I continue going down this road, that might increase his viability if I step on stage with him. And so, to be honest, I was proud of that moment. I'm not proud of the fact that she did a disservice to a lot of really good people who put that together. I think that was something that was felt by a lot of communities, especially the Black community here in Denver. And I think our debate was something that I'm very proud of. And I hope that next time we get to do this, like, more people put that into circulation, right? I wish that we had more press coverage. I wish people on the other side were floating it in a diligent way. But, again, this is this is the challenge that first-time candidates face, right? Like this is a part of the struggle, and I think anyone who's out there should know that if you are going to run, this will be the battle that you face. It's not about whether or not you've got the right vision, the right story, or any of that stuff. It's about, can you take on the machine? And we know that the machine, especially the Democratic establishment, is a very large one to take on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Neal Walia, thank you. We appreciate it, and the struggle continues.
Always, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the press and the love. Y'all were one of the few networks that always gave us airtime, and that means a great deal to us. So keep on fighting, and we'll do the same.
Absolutely, you too. Thank you. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.